Who's up next? It's funny, but women get mad and they just walk by and they don't say anything, right? Is that interesting?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey.
What do you mean that women deserve less? Could you explain that more clearly?
Men need to enter relationships with women with a healthy level of skepticism.
Why is that?
Because most women, unfortunately, don't provide a reciprocal amount of value to a man in a relationship. And if they enter in giving her more, well, they're probably going to take an L in the long run.
What kind of value do you say that women aren't providing? What are they lacking in?
Well, a lot of modern-day women don't respect most men. A lot of them don't respect male authority. A lot of them think that men are below them. A lot of them think that they deserve the world simply by existing. A lot of them don't think that they need to cook or clean or adhere to certain, traditional feminine roles. Basically, they can do whatever they want, and their roles are malleable to whatever they want versus your roles are static as a man.
But why should a woman have a traditional role? Why should she be home cleaning and doing all this bullshit that women in the past have been fucking miserable doing? Nowadays, there's more women doctors, AI, engineers. They're doing better jobs than men. They're getting lower suing, like they have less things
Yeah,
like
but what's the cost of that?
The cost of them is working and going to college and thinking, using their brain.
But what is the cost of that, though?
I was just trying to say, instead of sitting around and letting a man have his authority over her and tell her what to do and where she's going to be and how many kids she's going to have and how many people she should fuck and whatever else you're trying to say. If all women deserve less, does it mean every woman or just a subset of women?
Yeah, so what you just described is like women entering the workforce and like feminism. And I would argue that's a big problem with why we have the society that we have, right? We have marriages in the toilet. We have divorce rates, highest they've ever been. We have women on more SSRIs and antidepressant medication ever before, despite the fact that they have more privileges and access than they've ever had before, most educated, but yet they're still unhappy. We have, an epidemic of single mothers. We have a bunch of children that don't have a father. We have a bunch of kids that are running around being degenerates. We have school shooters all over the place. We have an enormous amount of crime. The economy is in the shitter.
But that's their fault. That's not women's fault.
No, what I am saying is a symptom of that, of the country declining, a big component of that is due to feminism.
How?
Because feminism.
Wait.
I'll explain. Let me go through.
No. You're not making sense. You're throwing out things and they're not making sense. So you're saying there's a high crime rate. You're saying that men are not being respected and all that, and it's all because of feminism. Okay?
Yes, because.
Give me an example.
Yeah, I'll explain. So when you look at the degradation of society, it's typically directly rooted to the destruction of the nuclear family. The nuclear family is the backbone of any thriving society. The thing that hurt and impeded, or some would even say killed the nuclear family in the West, especially the United States, was feminism. Because thanks to birth control and the rise of feminism and the rise of free love in the 1960s, what basically has happened is women have said, oh, I make my own money now. If I make my own money and I have my own status, well, I don't need a man anymore. And what's ended up happening is
What's wrong with that?
Well, that destroys the nuclear family. That's my point.
But what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with what?
Destroying the nuclear family. Societies change. Things change. Women don't need to be sitting around being married to someone and answer to someone and saying, hey, I can't have a high body count. They should be able to go fuck who they want, do whatever they want, and be happy. Okay, instead of sitting at home waiting for some guy. Let's just reverse things a minute, okay? Let's say that someone told you got to sit around and you got to be moral, and any girl you want to fuck, you can't do it because women think that's wrong. And you will behave and do as you're told and live a miserable life. You say women are more on, mentally ill drugs or whatever? That's because they're sick of their lives. They're sick of being told what to do. They want a career. They want to travel.
They're not told what to do anymore is precisely my point. They have all the freedom, yet they're still on antidepressant medication.
No, they have more freedoms now. They're just starting to get more freedoms.
No, they've had them for a very long time.
Very little.
And they're still having higher suicide rates. They're on more antidepressant
males
medication.
have higher suicide rates.
No, I'm saying women have higher suicide rates now than before is my point.
Younger Gen Z and millennial women do have some higher.
So as things have gotten better for women, they've made more money, gotten more education, become, contributing members of society. Everything has gotten better for them, yet they're less happy.
Everything hasn't gotten better. They're still judged as whores sleep around. They're still judged as pigs and losers if they're winners.
I would argue they're not judged as
Men
whores.
are weaklings if a woman makes more than they can't fucking handle it. What'd you say?
They're not judged as whores.
Oh, yeah, no. Yes, they are judged worse. If a woman becomes a doctor, teacher, something that pays well, the men are automatically insecure. They fucking can't handle it, And
no,
and
the
now
promise,
men,
the
all they wanna
promiscuity
do-
is not promiscuity is not shamed to the same level that it used to be. Now, going back to the whole thing.
Correct.
So let me
correct.
make sure I
And
understand
you're
this.
right.
So you don't think the destruction of the nuclear family is what led to society going and decaying?
Wait, you're saying if a rock falls and breaks, did it break? You
No,
need to say
I'm
what
saying,
you're saying differently.
what I'm saying is that my argument is the nuclear family is the backbone of a society.
I don't believe the nuclear family is a backbone.
Okay,
of
so that's
society.
where we disagree. I
Right,
think
we definitely disagree with
yeah,
that.
I think the nuclear family is the backbone of a society, a thriving society.
Right, but if that's the case, let's imagine that you're right for 3 seconds, okay? What you're saying out here is women deserve less. So why would I want to be a part of a nuclear family where a woman deserves less? Where I'm putting in the same work or more, but I deserve less?
Yeah,
You
because
explain that to me.
The point I'm trying to make is the reason why is because modern day women are no longer traditional women. Still
What does
expect you
that
to
mean?
be-
They fuck with people?
Yeah, more promiscuous. They're more rude. They don't respect male authority.
Okay,
they think
but
that
wait. Why should they? Why shouldn't a woman sleep around if she wants? Why?
there's a bunch of problems with that.
Give me one.
Women that sleep around tend to have more mental instability. They tend to have problems with pair bonding. They tend to be more miserable, sad, more likely to use alcohol, abuse drugs. This is why women that are sex workers and porn stars almost always end up.
Everyone goes through an immaturity stage, okay? People like to go up to college, they like to fuck, they like to have a good time, but then at a certain point they say, okay, I've had enough. I want someone who loves me and cares about me, or I don't want anyone who loves me. I get there's a lot of trauma in people's lives. 25% of women have been sexually abused. There's a lot of problems out there. It isn't just the backbone of society, this marriage thing you keep talking about. You know,
Yeah,
and women are doing better than men, and they're going to be pulling the strings. They're the ones who are going to be controlling AI, medical, the intelligence agencies. Let's not forget who got Bin Laden. It was a female intelligence agent. Okay,
Yeah, but who went and actually shot him?
who went out and shot him? U.S. Special Forces. But
And
a
those-
woman told him where
and those,
he was.
And those were all men.
But a woman told him where he was.
And the thing is, that team that you mentioned, that you're talking about, that caught Bin Laden, it was majority men. Yeah, there was a woman that headed it, but
So what?
it was a majority of
If
men.
it's the majority of men, but the woman figured it out, who's the smarter of the?
No, she was just a supervisor.
Just the supervisor.
She was just a supervisor.
There was a woman FBI agent who told Bill Clinton they're going to crash planes into the buildings, and he laughed her off, and all the male agents laughed her off. So, sorry, women are in intelligence agencies, women are way more intelligent than men. And they're getting better in AI, which is the future, and they're getting better in medical, science, cancer research. Women are blowing men away. And they
Men-
don't want to live in a traditional role where they come home. And you're saying down here that women deserve less. I'm going to ask you again. All women deserve less, or just women who don't suck up to men? Which one
Again,
is
like
it?
I said before, I said it from the beginning. When I say women deserve less, I'm talking about from a relationship perspective.
From what
being
perspective?
skeptical from a relationship perspective.
Militia?
Relationship.
A relation. Okay.
And then you went ahead and talked about the professional stuff. Look, I mean,
No,
we
I
get-
talked about sleeping around, professional stuff,
Yeah, you
SSR,
literally-
antidepressants. I talked about it all.
Yes,
Suicide.
and I'm telling you that as women have become able to attend school and
Mm-hmm.
make money and get these careers, their depression and their sadness and their life happiness has gone down alongside that. Is what I'm trying to explain to you.
But
Just
that's a
because there are
small
some women-
percentage. And men's
I mean, it's pretty
depression has
significant.
gone up too.
Men, but men have always been, because we have a burner performance on us. Now women are starting to
because men are
experience that.
weaker.
No.
Yeah,
No.
They commit
No.
suicide at a higher rate. They're more depressed. Okay, they can't handle shit. If a girl tells them to fuck off or cheats on,
Yeah,
they
because
go home like a bitch.
Because men have a significantly harder life than women do.
Men have a harder life than women.
Absolutely, yes. In modern day
25%
society.
of all females have been sexually molested. It's like 8% for men. You're telling me that men have a harder life?
Men, yes, absolutely, yes.
Okay, and give me three ways.
Men absolutely. See, here's the thing. People, homeless people, drug addicts, people that are, suffering, right? Depression, sadness. It's overwhelmingly men. And the reason why is because with men, there aren't the same social safety nets that are there for women. For women, they're
What are
able
you talking about? Anyone that doesn't have a penny can get off the street right now. Camilla's
There
house. You
are
go to
far
psychology
more-
today. And if there's more
There
men,
are
if
far
there are more
more-
men on the
there
street
are far
depressed,
more-
that means they're weaker. They can't go get help.
Yeah,
Why
but-
can't they go see
But
a
what I'm
doctor?
saying is that
but a woman
with
will.
men have significantly less social resources than women do. And here's the thing also.
No, they don't.
Wait,
No, they don't.
now we're
You,
just.
okay, give me one
Okay,
fact to back
let's move
that
to
up.
the next person. We can't even have a
you
discussion.
can't handle the facts.
No.
okay?
You don't
And
have facts.
You say women
You're-
deserve
you're-
that. Does
you're
that
lying.
include your mom?
You're
Does that
lying.
include your sister?
You're lying. That's the
No,
thing
I'm
is
not
that we
lying.
can't even
I'm
have
right.
an intellectual
You're wrong.
conversation.
I'm right. You're wrong.
All right.
Okay?
No, you
And
are
you're making a fool
absolutely
of
wrong.
yourself.
No,
And
you
you're making,
made a fool of
and all
yourself.
these little George Tate or Andrew Tate guys that think you're cool.
These are all facts, man.
He's a fucking
These
child
are
molester.
facts.
He runs women. He's a piece of shit.
These are facts. These are facts.
Huh?
What I'm saying is, like, we can't even have a discussion on facts because you're saying, oh, that's not true.
Well, because if you can't
even concede that there are far more social programs for women than men, then we can't even have a discussion. Because
I said that there's plenty of social programs for men, and they don't take advantage of them because they're too macho
for women
to swallow their fucking pride and say, Doc,
there's
I need
far
help.
more for women, and like I said before, men have live a significantly harder than women do because women are able to be a housewife if they want. They can to the workforce. They have more ability
so they
to
deserve
do
less.
what they want to do.
They deserve less. Then.
Within the confinements of a relationship, you must be skeptical, yes.
Skeptical, you're saying they deserve less.
Yeah, and then
so you're spitting on women is what you're doing.
Okay.
Every woman that walks by, you deserve less because
look, man, if you want to be a social justice warrior, that's
woman.
Fantastic, but let's get to the next person.
Okay, right. I know. You can't take what I'm saying anymore.
No, because you're just virtue signaling at this point.
I'm not virtue signaling.
You're
the one virtue signaling.
You're virtue signaling at this point.
You're the next
You're virtue signaling at this point.
And in the end, women are going to win.
Okay, we'll bring on the next person.
Yeah,
Thank you for your time.
Bye.
Thank you for your time. Who's up next? And that's progressive talk right there. The nuclear family is the backbone of any society. Can't even concede to that, then it is what it is. All
Hello?
right, what's up?
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Nice to meet you. I'm Dominic. So I strongly disagree with the with your belief that America is going down based off feminist.
Okay.
What? I think America's going down for other reasons. I mean, happy wife, happy life. I mean.
Yeah, it's more like happy king, happy kingdom.
Yeah.
Because the reality is that men are supposed to lead, women are supposed to follow. And quite frankly, if the woman's in the leadership role, she's going to lead the relationship to the end. That's what it comes down to. Now, if you want to say, oh yeah, men and women are equal and have this egalitarian mindset, that's fine. But simply put, women don't build society. Contrary to what people like that guy was saying, like women are entering science and technology and intelligence agencies. The reality is men still dominate these fields.
What about corporate? What about corporate America? I know that women are rising in employment in terms of banking, investing. I mean,
sure, but I mean, women they are graduating college at a higher rate, and they are entering these professional roles. But the reality is that the infrastructure that allows you to live a first world life is dominated and controlled by men mostly.
So you actually believe that America's going down based off of feminist and women leading their relationship?
Well, there's a multitude. It's not just feminism. There's a multitude of different reasons why the United States has been declining. Feminism is just one part of it. But there's multiple. I'm not saying that's the only one.
But so women shouldn't have rights? Women shouldn't have...
I never said that.
Well, I mean, what you're saying is that...
I'm saying they're not equal to men, and the reality is they're just not at all.
They're not equal to men? I mean,
no, they're not.
Like in what way? I mean, I know physically they're not equal to men.
Yes.
But like...
We are inherently not equal. Just off of what you just said right there, that proves my point.
Really, in terms of what you say, knowledge and intelligence, you really think that women aren't equal?
Well, in general, I mean, men tend to have higher IQs. Most geniuses are men. But at the same time, most idiots are also men, and men have lower IQ. So we dominate both spectrums on the scale of excellence and media. But, you know, men, women are inherently different. I think this egalitarian mindset where men and women are equal is a big problem why we have the situation that we have.
I'm just curious.
And I would take it a step further. I would argue that women don't want you to think that they're equal. Women are not attracted to their equal. They're attracted to a superior.
If we were to go on a college campus right now...
I've done that before?
Yeah, I've seen your videos, right?
Yeah.
I think that... I don't think women... I don't think women should have it less. I think right now they're... I believe in equality, right? But on a scale, women are rising in certain fields, right? Let's just say not in the blue-collar workforce, but in the white-collar workforce, right? I mean, we could just look at the numbers in Bank of America.
Yeah, like
right?
the useless jobs, if we're going to be honest.
Useless.
They dominate the useless jobs.
So you think banking, investing, engineering are useless jobs in terms of infrastructure?
Engineering is dominated by men. I respect the plumbers, the power linemen, the electricians, the guys that that control the sewage, the sanitation. I respect them far more than some woman in corporate. I respect the guys that do the light poles, all that stuff, because that's what keeps the country running. And this is absolutely dominated by men. Women don't do these types of jobs. Women want air-conditioned jobs where they can hang out and type on a computer and, you know.
No, I believe that women don't want those types of jobs, but they do contribute a significant part of, America's economy. Just these
Sure,
big
but
think
they don't
tanks.
contribute to the same level that men do.
All right, well, agree, disagree. Well, it was great talking to you.
Sure,
Great
no
talking
problem.
to you.
Good discussion.